Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for the Ninja Troll Digicast, the podcast that boldly goes where no one has gone before, then nerd rages about it. My name is Tim Dixon. I am joined with Mike Worth.
I am conjoined to Timothy D.
Joined twins.
Welcome, Ninja Troll Nation. We've got another Action Jackson-packed adventure of an episode today.
Action Jackson.
On the radio show. It's going to be awesome. In Exploring the Multiverse segment, we start the final crisis. All right, I'm going to only do it once, and I won't do it again. Maybe one more time.
But yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, we'll probably see that again.
In the movie and TV news, we've got news about a fourth Star Trek film when we're about to have the third one just come out very soon.
In 2 days. Tomorrow. I guess it technically comes out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because
right?
The old Friday premieres have leaked over into Thursday.
Might as well.
But I'm going to see it Friday, so.
Awesome. I hope I get to see it this week.
Yeah.
The young Han Solo has been cast for the standalone film, which will be really cool. Will he appear in any other of the other ones?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. Because it seems like all of the ones that they're the Star Wars stories that they're talking about so far, are all between Episode 3 and 4,
which is a lot, and that's his that's where he came to be, right? I mean,
so it's very possible.
No, that'd be great. After 30 years, I've been waiting, with the cable box that has the wire that connects to the top of the TV.
The little switch.
Not even its network. So I have my stick to change the channel on my television. Click it. We're going to have a new episode of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, in the old Filmation style.
Oh, yes. It looks really good. They called it a trailer, but it's more of just like a little clip. But it looks really, really good.
And this is at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes. It's actually airing today at Comic-Con.
Man. Well, I can't wait to see it.
I'm sure they will die in a couple weeks. They will release it.
Oh, cringer. Yeah. And in the comic rack, we've got now a paneled version, right, a comic book of The Lost Boys, the great 80s vampire coming-of-age teenage love story.
Yeah. And well, Mike and I both love The Lost Boys.
Oh.
And reading this, I'm really looking forward to the comic, and I want to go watch the movie again.
Well, and the He-Man, too. I mean,
the He-Man as well.
So much 80s going on. It's amazing. And even more 80s. There's lots of great things going on. And then lastly, we will combine metal.
Yes.
Yeah. And comic books.
That's going to be interesting.
Back to you, Timmy D.
All right. Let's hit the couple of tidbits before we get started, really. In birthdays, Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, Khan, and Lord knows everything.
Sherlock Holmes.
Everything he does is cool.
Yeah.
So he turned 40 years old. The big 4-0.
Child.
Yeah. Vin Diesel is 49.
Damn, he's
And
old.
they just announced he's doing a new Triple X movie.
Yes.
Not rated,
nope.
but the
hero.
the series. Yeah. It was what was it's Lucas something. It's subtitled. It's Triple X, the return of whatever his character's name.
I think
was.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that would be awesome. They could combine Breaking and Triple X. That'd be awesome.
That would be great. Think he could break it?
Sure. He could probably break something. If he's 49, he could break a hip. And Alexandra Shipp is 25. I cannot remember now. I should have wrote it down when I put that there.
Preparation.
I remember seeing her going, oh, she's from something.
From a
she's
browser.
From something that's interesting.
Is this John Wesley Shipp's daughter?
Oh, she played Storm in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
The young girl with the mohawk.
Cool.
So that's So see, I wrote it down. I was like, oh yeah, I'll know her. It's no problem.
Totally.
I was wrong.
Got it.
And this is our Pokey section here. All the Pokemon news is right here.
Last week you looked at me like, why do we have this on the show? And now there's a section for it in 1 week.
Because there's so much crap going on. A man has quit his job to become a full-time Pokemon Go player.
Incredible.
Okay, how do you do that?
Incredible.
I mean,
there's just so much what would you say, fanfare. I mean, like,
there's plenty to
blowing
do.
Up.
There's plenty to do on Pokemon Go, but none of them pay your mortgage. So how do you quit your job to go do that?
They just did. They figured it out.
Crazy. Hey, well, he needs to share because I'd like to. If I can quit my job and go play video games, yes, that's awesome.
So I'm trying to just quickly grab it here, but I think the Pokemon. Let's see here. Yep, revenues and estimates on thinkgaming.com, which has all these great sort of stats, I guess, if you will, as soon as it loads. But
Yes.
I believe that Pokemon, as I looked of yesterday, made $1.7 million.
And it pushed Nintendo stock above Sony.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and that's
How
a
did
big
that
deal.
happen? Yeah, right.
That's
Because
a big deal.
Sony destroys them with PlayStation, and
Yeah.
the Wii is not always what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pushed them. It's gone nuts. And in Manchester, New Hampshire,
Yes.
police used the opportunity to find a rare Pokemon to lure in people on their most wanted list. They sent out an email and said it was a chair lizard. Is that one?
You're asking me.
I don't
Char lizard.
Charlizard. Okay.
Ooh.
Sure, that sounds
Ooh.
good. I don't know.
I'm thinking of Charmander.
We're making stuff up. The Pikachu's the only one I know.
Pika.
But they sent out an email to people on their most wanted list and said, you have been chosen to come. There's one in our intake area. You can come down here and you'll catch it.
How many did they catch?
I think they caught like 8 or 9
Wow.
that were stupid enough to
show up.
do that.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
And another, I guess, law enforcement story. A man with an outstanding warrant was chasing one and actually kind of blindly wandered into the front of a police station. Police look outside, realize they've got an open warrant for him, and they just walked out and went, "Oh, hey, come here." And handcuffed him.
Oh my God. He must have felt like a huge dolt.
He didn't even realize where he was. He was just blindly following
man.
the screen. And then all of a sudden,
I mean, you can have an open warrant for a parking ticket, unpaid
That's
parking
true,
ticket.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not like he
But
was
if-
like a felon.
but-
he was a felon, or
what if the police recognize you?
then
Yeah.
it's not a parking ticket.
They've been looking at it, going, "Okay, we need to go find this dude."
That's right.
So yeah, it's not a parking ticket. So, let's see. There was an MMA fighter who, after he knocked out his opponent,
He rolled the
he
Pokeball.
ran over to his corner. They gave him a hat, a Pokemon hat, and a Pokeball, and a little plush Pokeball. And he went out there and rolled it at his prone opponent. So I guess adding insult to injury.
Oh man.
And the NYPD has released a Pokemon Go safety guideline infographic after a stampede in Central Park.
Yeah, you saw. Did you see the footage of that?
I did not. No.
People literally were driving through
Were
Central
they
Park.
going after like?
Well, they got
rare
out of their
ones?
cars and they ran into the woods wherever
good
this Pokemon was. Incredible.
The good
what
old
people are
days,
doing.
like when all you had to worry about in Central Park was being mugged. Now you got to worry about Pokemon Go. And a company has made a Pokedrone. It will connect to your phone, and then it becomes the camera and the GPS.
And you go out. It
And
goes
you
out
can
and
get,
flies.
So
Oh,
like if
man.
there's a one that's over a fence or out in the middle of a lake, apparently there's some out in the middle of the lake. You could take the drone out there, pick it up.
instead of the boat.
Yeah. Instead of drowning. So, but that's the
I found Jason.
the thing that this makes you do, makes you get up and go out of places. Along comes a company that finds a way to
Put you right back
defeat
in
that
there.
purpose.
That's right. Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can just fly the drone around. So, but that is our little pokey section there on the little news. I'm sure we'll have other silliness next week to
Yeah, I'm sure.
And if you need to protect your garden from rebel scum instead of rabbits, you can now get a Stormtrooper fence from Entertainment Earth. It's like a regular little fencing they sell at like Home Depot and stuff that just has stakes that you push down, except it has 3D faces of Stormtroopers on it. Wow, awesome.
That's amazing.
I need those.
I mean, they already have vinyl fences. Who's not thought of making faces into
there
the
we go.
slats?
It's one of those. It's just like bacon jerky. I bought that a couple of weeks ago. I was like, how has this not always been a thing? This is the coolest thing.
Bacon jerky.
See?
Wow, yeah.
Why?
Because bacon kind of already is jerky a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't know what they did to it to keep it fresh in that bag. I probably don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
But and Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. There is a group of researchers at London's Queen Mary University that are working on bringing it to life. The University School of Electronic Engineering and Computer Science are working on, quote, using graded refractive index nanocomposite materials to reduce an object's electromagnetic signature, making it appear flat. Okay. Well, of course. I mean,
that's all you got to do.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you just do that and you're good.
Just put some tape on it.
Put some tape on it.
That'll make it appear flat.
Just buff it out. Buff it out. But yeah, they're apparently seriously working on creating an invisibility cloak.
Dude, come on. You know what the implications of that would be?
I mean, yeah.
Predator would be would be corny.
And two musicians, one of which was a 13-year-old,
kill me,
serenaded John Williams outside of his home with a Star Wars theme.
I heard this. This was really cute.
It was really cool. And they were pretty good too.
Yeah.
A lady from the neighborhood. The reason we know about this is a lady from the neighborhood saw them setting. It was like walking by, saw them setting up, so she started recording. And when he actually came out of the house, and she was like telling him, was like, "Hey, that's him. He just stuck his head out."
The guy.
And then he came out, and they were the adult. I'm not sure whether this was
dad and a daughter. I think, right?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
Was an older guy playing the keyboard,
flugelhorn,
right? Yeah.
No, he was playing the flugelhorn, and the 13-year-old was playing a trumpet. The adult,
no piano at all.
No, there was no piano at all. The adult kind of kept it together, but you could tell the 13-year-old was like to meet him. But I thought that was really cool. I mean, it's kind of a weirdo thing, but John Williams he responded to it very well. To come out and meet the
well, come on, man.
And John Williams, I don't know what I was expecting, but John Williams lives in a very ordinary, just suburban home.
Well,
it was just
good.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it was like, that's his house. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Popular mechanics in the mailbox.
I guess so. Yeah. And Nintendo is releasing a teeny tiny little NES console.
Can't wait. It's got 30 games.
Yeah, it's packed with 30 games, and it actually fits in the palm of your hand.
I'm excited.
That says a huge thing to me about the miniaturization of all electronics. It's now that the console that used to be like 4 times the size is now, shrunk down teeny tiny.
That's incredible.
But it's adorable.
I mean, I want one because it has all the Nintendo original games. That's the thing, is that like when some of these companies put them out, you get like the third party ones, and it's like,
it's not as good. Yeah. There's a same kind of thing with Sega Genesis, but they didn't. I don't know who picked the games that they put in it, but it's not that great.
It's random, and they're like you get like Sonic 1, 2, and then jumps to 4. Like, you don't even get number 3. It's like that
was probably licensed. They probably licensed 3 out to another company,
right? Versus their own Sega
exactly
studios or whatever.
Yeah, so they couldn't. It'd probably just easier just to not include it than even try to get it back.
It's like Leisure Suit Larry. They skipped a whole game and they went right for the 5th one over the 4th. Yeah.
And Telltale Games has released the first trailer for their new game, Batman the Telltale series. It looks incredible.
I've not played a Telltale game, but I know people who are diehard for them. The Walking Dead seems to be very successful.
That is my big question out of it. It looks incredible. It looks like a moving comic book, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What's gameplay like? That's my big question.
It kind of feels like the old adventure games, like where
you make a choice of where, and
you move through it, and like it responds to how
So it's like it's all cutscenes basically.
Pretty much, and you activate them by picking up items or talking to people and stuff. And you have that minimal control, like the old.
It's a
point
choose
and clicks.
your adventure.
Yeah, like the old point and click adventures.
Okay, all right. Well, that answers the question,
but not as in depth because it's like it's more about the story. They invest heavily in the art and the cinema and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, it looked incredible. It really looked like a comic was moving.
I wonder if Kevin Conroy will do the voice.
Oh, that's a good
Batman,
question.
right? I mean, this is going to be a big thing.
It didn't sound like him.
Okay, so most likely not.
Because there were Alfred did most of the talking in the trailer, but he did have a couple lines, and I don't.
It didn't sound like
Yeah,
Kevin Conroy.
I know it would have registered with me if it was Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
that would have made it even better. So,
yeah.
But that's our tidbits. Let's move right into the movie and TV news.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's the movie and TV news on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, first thing, the second trailer for Star Wars Rogue One was shown at Star Wars Celebration in Europe, and it featured Darth Vader.
Awesome.
It actually showed him.
Cool.
Because there's been a rumor that he's going to be there, and we postulated that there's possibly you can hear the breath in the first trailer.
Oh, I heard.
But they actually there's a shot of him in the second trailer. Unfortunately, it hasn't released online yet. I'm sure any kind of thing like San Diego Comic-Con or Star Wars Celebration,
yeah,
they are going to give amount of time before they release that stuff so that the people that were there and saw it still have that special feeling of I got it way before other people.
Ooh.
Because if they release it at San Diego Comic-Con and then like later that day release it online, it would kind of...
It's already leaked.
Oh, has it?
I
Is
just
it like
looked it up.
shaky cell phone video?
Or
is it is actual good?
We got this covered.com. Yeah, it's cell phone video.
It's cell phone video, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which is how we saw Deadpool last year.
Yeah, exactly. Which is totally fine.
But yeah, they're gonna give an amount of time. Like I said, give a little time before they release it online to give that special feeling to the people who saw it at Comic-Con and
no doubt,
and
yeah.
Star Wars Celebration.
There's already breakdowns of it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, people are already going nuts over the.
But yeah, actually
exciting.
seeing what he looks like, how they're going to do the suit and the characterization, I think is more for me because he's just moving into being the evil Sith Lord that we know from the original trilogy.
And he's still like a low lieutenant in that first. One.
He's moving up. Like at the beginning of A New Hope, he was known.
Pet. Yeah.
But they were smarting off to him. He had to choke that dude.
I know,
because he was smarting off to him. Yeah.
Because of his religion.
Yeah. His sad devotion to that ancient religion. See, sad devotion to the ancient religion choked your ass. That's right. So it'll be interesting to see what Darth Vader is like in this, whether he's going to be more brutal because he obviously still had a reputation in A New Hope, and he was obviously like the Emperor's right hand man.
You think he's going to go back and like tear up some sand people and stuff and like? Oh. Well, I know he does that in.
He does that anyway.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Killed them all.
Which comic was
Even
it where he goes to Tatooine again and as Vader and rips them all up? Was it the Star Wars?
It was the Vader series.
The Vader series.
Yeah.
So
he just apparently likes beating on them.
Every so often.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta kick a Tuscan ass. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's new Batman movie will reportedly center on Arkham Asylum. Of course,
the history of it.
This is still rumor, but it's gonna center around. So, because there's a rumor that there will be multiple villains. That would make sense if he like the game, he was trapped in Arkham Asylum.
Oh, yeah, the first game. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so I mean that would be cool, but he has said that his story will be an original story. And it would draw from several Batman comics rather than directly adapt one. So it's not going to be like the Hush series. It's not. It's going to be.
And there keeps being. Didn't they cast somebody for Hush?
No, they.
Or is that a speculation?
Yeah, Kevin Smith was talking to Matt Damon,
right,
and saying that he
Hush.
should play. Yeah, he should play Hush.
He'd be great.
Which I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because it actually feeds into because. Hush and Batman were childhood friends,
right?
And so I think that's where Kevin Smith was coming from. That Affleck and Damon grew up together.
Cool.
So
the Project Greenlight.
Yeah, exactly. So
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think with Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns working on it,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. So. There will be a 4th Star Trek reboot movie, even though the 3rd one just comes out in a couple days.
Oh, yeah.
They've already announced that there will be a Star Trek, a 4th one, and somehow Chris Hemsworth will return as George Kirk, even though he died in the 2009 movie.
Really?
But of course, they're jumping around, and the whole
time.
thing is an alternate timeline anyway.
That's true.
But so we'll have Thor, Steve Trevor, and Judge Dredd all on a spaceship.
Well, and also the receptionist in the new Ghostbusters.
It's true. Yeah.
He plays Kevin. Kevin is
he's
his
a
name.
Ghostbuster and Thor. Then we got Steve Trevor and then Judge Dredd. That's awesome.
Woo!
And speaking of Judge Dredd, I always want to say Keith Urban, and that's a country singer. Carl Urban is still after somebody to do a Judge Dredd, either another Judge Dredd movie or a series. He's pushing for like a Netflix series.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
How
and
cool
he
would
wants
that
to.
be?
Yeah, he wants to do because he felt like the
Stallone.
Judge Dredd movie that he did. Did you
Oh,
watch that?
No, the
It
latest
was
one.
really good.
Yeah, was it?
It was really
More
good.
like the comic.
Yeah, and he felt like it didn't get marketed properly, so it kind of got its legs cut out from under it, so it never got a
After
sequel.
being such a good the comic title for
Yeah,
so long.
yeah, and so he thinks, especially in the United States, it's more of just an old Stallone movie to a lot of people.
But in the UK, right?
In the
you
UK,
told me
it's
he's huge, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it
Yeah.
based out of the UK? Is that where
Yeah.
it's created?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was always a UK comic. I got a couple at when I went to Dave's Comics when his closeout sale. I got a couple of Judge Dredd
Nice.
comics. One that had, I guess it was supposed to be King Kong, but Dredd had ridden up on his lawgiver cycle, and he's like right at King Kong's nose, and he's like, violation or like ordinance number 2143, no climbing buildings and swatting at biplanes or something. The cover was hilarious. So I was like, I got to get this. I got to. That's the British comics are like that. It's everything is tongue in cheek. Mm-hmm. They have little gags like that all the time, even though Dredd is ultra serious, ultra violent, but they have little jokes like that thrown in. And in the street names are usually always jokes. Like there's a riot at the corner of Burns and Allen, and stuff like that. They throw little jokes in like that all the time.
Cool.
So, but yeah, he's after Netflix seriously
to do a series.
To do a series, which I think would be awesome.
Netflix is just winning.
Yeah,
they seem
they're
to be
cranking
just
some good stuff out.
that. Yeah, I think out of all the streaming services, that'd be a good add-on.
Mm-hmm. And Alden Ehrenreich has been confirmed as the new Han Solo in the upcoming Star Wars story film.
We've seen him. He looks good.
Yeah, he was
fit the role.
when he was on the short list, so it was a guy that I hadn't heard of, so I looked up. But yeah, he has a good look.
What's he done? Like anything previous with the science fiction pirate hero type deal?
Science fiction pirate hero. That's
What's your science fiction pirate hero resume stats looking like?
Let's see here. Let's see what he's been in. Switcheroo, Tetra.
Oh.
I've never heard of any of these. Wow. Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing that's known. He's actually in one. He's credited as 1940s teenager. That's his role. Yeah, he hasn't done anything very big, but you know what? Neither had Harrison Ford.
No.
I mean, he had done American Gigolo.
American Graffiti.
Yep. I do that all the time. Again, I get this.
Just a gigolo.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Life goes on.
But he has knocked down one of the primo roles because
man. Well, this is going to solidify
everybody
him for a
will
lot
know
of
who
stuff.
he is at that point. So,
Totally.
And this, like we were talking about earlier, it will take place between episode 3 and 4 as Solo becomes the character that we met in Mos Eisley.
So these are his pirate adventures.
Yes.
Right? Essentially how he meets Chewie and how he gets the Falcon.
I hope we get that.
Where he saves him from Kashyyyk. And
exactly.
Right? Yeah, that'd be
so,
cool.
and maybe
Kessel Run?
Maybe they could, they'll explain the Kessel Run. it would be nice to get a young Lando.
Oh yeah,
That would be another
that'd
role
be a
that
great
would be
role.
like,
Oh man,
the people would be like fighting like hell over.
wow. I wonder who would play that and just own it. And that'd be really rad.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah,
I hope it's another no name. I like that they're bringing
Yeah.
up these actors and giving them these great roles.
Yep. And speaking of Harrison Ford, they released some concept art for the new Blade Runner sequel.
Oh,
Los Angeles doesn't seem to have changed a whole. It's still pretty crappy looking.
No, nice.
And actually, one of the images you see is it's a machine. It's like a street sweeper, but it's there to melt the toxic snow. That's its job.
wow.
Because all water at this point is toxic.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like acid rain has now become acid snow in LA too. Think about that. In LA there's so much snow that they have to have a machine to clear the street.
Wow.
Of the
But they
toxic
still drive
snow.
like idiots in it, even with their automatic floating cars.
But it has the big, huge, obnoxious electronic billboards.
Nice.
They're still there and all that stuff. So it looks pretty cool.
Well, I hope the soundtrack's done by the original people. I forget their names now, but that like weird synth band.
Oh, yeah.
From the Laser or something they're called. Laser.
I don't remember who did that.
I forget now.
But yeah, it that definitely the score definitely
Made that
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
yeah added into it really, really good. So
Totally.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So
Me too.
now moving to the TV side, recently we've seen both John Barrowman and Whitworth Miller sign contracts, making them essentially regulars across 4 shows for all of the Berlanti, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. They are now
Even though John Barrowman was killed, right?
No, it was Whitworth Miller. that was
Wentworth
killed.
Miller.
He was Captain Cold. Yeah. But they're both signed as...
That's Merlin.
Merlin, exactly, yeah.
okay.
They're both signed as regulars for all the shows, so they can show up at any time.
Awesome.
Which I think is great because I love their characters both.
Maybe we get a secret society of supervillains or something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Yeah, because Merlin,
With the rogues.
he's not in charge of the League of Shadows anymore, but he's definitely he's got loads of connections.
Yep.
And it's not like the League of Shadows just went away. Those guys are still around.
And did he dip into the pool? We never saw if he did or not.
I don't think he did, because
Would
he
that
lost that arm.
But they never healed him.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I think they destroyed. Didn't they destroy the Lazarus Pit?
I thought when he took over as the new Raj that maybe he would have
Maybe he got
taken it.
He got a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be. But they have signed those contracts. Now the rumor is that John Wesley Shipp has been offered a similar contract
What?
as Jay Garrick.
Awesome.
So he could pop it. And it would really, you saw how it messed with Barry. Obviously, it looks like his dad.
Totally.
Yeah, it's going to mess him up. But that would be nice to have him pop up in different, I'd say especially Legends of Tomorrow, because they've
without a
introduced
doubt.
the Justice Society.
Right.
So he could pop in there easily.
Oh man.
There's
Can't
also a rumor that Batwoman, Oracle, and John Constantine are all characters that are expected to show up on Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, Constantine's already showed
He's
up.
already shown up on Arrow, and he was mentioned on The Flash, I think.
I thought he was on. Was he on Legends? It was just Arrow that they had.
I think it was just on Arrow. I think, again, he may have been mentioned on the others as well.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that's incredible.
yeah.
I mean, I would love to see an Oracle Felicity
Yeah.
team up.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That'd
crush
be cool.
him.
And Mark Guggenheim tweeted out a picture of the first table read for Legends of Tomorrow, and the face of one of the people at the table was pixelated out. It was that person was sitting right next to Dominic Purcell, who plays Heatwave. So maybe that was Wentworth Miller.
That'd be cool.
That would be a way to reintroduce him would be really cool. And the name of the first episode of Legends of Tomorrow is called Out of Time.
Wow.
So that you can take that for whatever you can figure out, because are they outside of time because they've done that before when they go to what's the
Vanishing Point.
Vanishing Point? Yeah. When they go there, they're technically outside of time, or are they out of time to do something? Or
Are they going to help fix Flashpoint?
That's a possibility as well.
That'd be a cool.
Maybe that's
crossover.
what when I forget the character. Is it Our Man that showed
The
up
one
at
who
the
showed
end?
up?
Yeah. Maybe that's what is referring to that. It's
Why
something
he's there.
because when he shows up, he says, "Don't get on the ship or you're a lie." And so maybe that's the whole thing there.
I mean, if they show up in Central City and it's Flashpoint, I mean,
Yeah.
or I don't know how Barry, maybe if he, I don't know what Barry's done to the timeline.
Exactly.
Yet, right?
Yeah. Everything
We'll have to
is
see.
literally. There's nothing but questions out
No,
there now.
no. We have to
no
know
idea.
what the effects are. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Gotham has cast Benedict Samuel from The Walking Dead as Jervis Tetch, a.k.a. the Mad Hatter.
Really?
Benedict Samuel was the wolf that Morgan captured.
Oh.
He had him and was trying to change him, basically. Giving him the chance that, what's his name, had given him.
Right. Yeah. I forget
Eastman.
Right.
Eastman, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
And Mad Hatter or Jervis Tetch, whichever, who arrives in town looking for his sister Alice, who went missing in the city years ago. So, again, this is my thing. Okay, you're introducing all the villains before Batman's even shown up.
True. But I mean, Mad Hatter wasn't he always older than Batman?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm looking here because I remember when David Wayne played him, and he was one of the most notable Batman villains on the 66 series. Interesting. In the Batman 66 series, the comic, it's revealed that Morris Tetch is the Clock King.
Yeah.
They're brothers. I wonder if they'll. Oh man, because they're gonna have to bring Clock King in at some point, or Calendar Man.
Calendar Man, yes, or Crazy Quilt. That's another one.
Or the Archer.
The wacky. Actually, the first issue where Jason Todd was Robin, it was the Crazy Quilt was the villain.
Yeah, you gotta break him in.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't start him with the Joker. You gotta he's got to ramp up.
Right.
You gotta start at the
Climb
bottom.
the ladder there.
Move your way up.
We'll get you to Louis the Lilac.
Oh man, Louis the
And then
Lilac.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda the Great.
And Star Wars Rebels has released a trailer
Yes.
for season 3,
We get
and
Mr. Bliskin.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is coming.
I can't wait.
I think it's interesting that was a character that was introduced in a
Timothy Zahn books.
yeah, and that came after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
But he's now being introduced into
Rebels, which precedes
Rebels, which it was before.
But he was old then.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long his race
the
lives.
Zahn books have been wiped out of canon anyway, so they can just. I mean, it was a good character, so they can just take him and do with him.
I remember specifically when TIE Fighter, the game, came out from LucasArts. The Zahn books were still in play because you'd fight the Super Star Destroyer, Death Walker or something, whatever it was called. And Thrawn would come on the radio like he was your commander, and he would say, he'd be like, you would kill everybody, and he'd be like, that was an okay job. You can do better.
Dang it.
Yeah, we are promoting you to, head lackey. But Thrawn was he'd be sitting, in his pixelated self in his big chair.
His 8-bit self.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I tried to pick up with the show and I haven't been able to. But every time they release a trailer, I want to watch it. That's the job of a trailer. So, and Darth Maul was in there again.
Right.
And apparently
him and his brother. Maul has these robotic legs.
Yes. And the what's the guy, the main guy who's being tempted to go to the dark side? That was what I picked up from the trailer.
Character?
That one of the characters was basically being tempted by the dark side the whole time, kind of wanting to take the easy way out. It was getting to be too much work to do the right thing.
Let's see, our main characters, Ezra Bridger and Kanan.
Might have been Ezra.
Ezra's the boy.
Okay.
And then Kanan or Kanan, he's the older guy who kind of trains him.
I thought he was the Padawan. There's a comic series.
Well, he's the last Padawan.
Okay, that's what the comic series was.
Yeah, before the Jedi were all killed, he was the last one training. and he in turn became a master.
Okay.
He had to. So he has limited training.
Okay. He's like a
but
train at home.
The
Like
the
Luke
International
Skywalker was.
Correspondence College
right,
of
yes.
Jedi. But yeah, that's a great show because they have like a Mandalorian warrior and like the two guys, and then there's two female characters, and it's just a cool show. I just wish I had XD. I can't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't. There for a while, I tried to record it to get into
DVR.
it, but they started piling up so quick, and it's like I don't have time.
There's like 20 episodes a season.
Yeah,
they're big.
It's like a full season. So
when we did the Disney cruise, it was on the TV, so we watched. I saw the Darth Maul episode.
Okay.
I saw a bunch of stuff, and it's like basically it's very much like how the Nazis took power. It's how the Empire took power.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
it's changing from the Republic into the Empire.
Totally.
Yeah.
A lot of rebellion.
Yeah.
Hornets' nests.
That's right. And a trailer for The Walking Dead Season 7 will be released on July 22nd.
Oh, man.
And Greg Nicotero, who directed the
Final Negan?
the new episode, the premiere episode.
Okay.
He's shown it to people, and he said their react. Well, I can't say their reaction because we try to keep the language a little cleaner, but that's what their reaction was when they watched the premiere episode.
Oh,
you know it's going to be brutal because I mean,
fudge.
yeah, it's
Ugh.
it's going to be him beating somebody.
We're going to pick right up where we were.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh man.
Taking it like a champ.
I'm getting the heebie-jeebies when you talk
exactly.
about it.
So it's going to be brutal.
Put me in a better place now, Timmy. Come on.
Yes, I will. For the first time in 30 years, we will have a new episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh man, I still have all my figures. I don't know if that's right for me to admit on the radio, but
it is.
I have all my
On
figures.
this show, that's cool.
And I was telling you that story earlier. So where I grew up, like people would walk by my house all the time, and I would shout things at them because I'm a kid and I was a punk. But I had the Snake Pit action set. It was like the castle, for Skeletor.
Yeah.
And it came with like a little microphone.
I love that it had Mr. Microphone with it.
Oh, it was great. And then there was a face on the side of it. I don't know why it wasn't a snake's face, but you know. And when you talked in this thing, it made you sound scary. It was like, kind of an effect on it. Exactly. And a lot of chorus. And if people would walk by and I'd be like, stop looking at my house, you fools.
That is awesome.
And I would get my best Skeletor on. So this is going to be in the style of the original Filmation.
Yes, it absolutely. They released they called it a trailer, but it was more of like just a clip. And when I first started watching it, I thought it was a clip from the original series. Awesome. That's how good it is. And from the sounds of it, they've gotten the original voice of Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer,
to
do the voice. And if it's not him, it's an incredible fact. The dude has the impersonation down.
He went to the
perfectly.
School of Skeletor and
Exactly.
Starscream and all the bad guys.
Guy,
Cobra Commander.
Yeah, I had to look up his name because I didn't know who did. I know the voice, but I didn't know the guy's name. But Alan Oppenheimer was the original voice of Skeletor.
Poster of him on my wall. Not Skeletor.
Just Alan Oppenheimer. Got a cool name. So, but yeah, that is actually airing today at Comic-Con.
Sweet.
So, and again, I'm sure it'll be a couple weeks. It'll be released. And no, it did say at the end of the trailer it was August 1st. It's going to be available on iTunes.
Yes.
So we'll get to watch it.
And then it's going to be a series, right? After
they didn't say anything about it being a series. They just said one episode.
Oh man.
Now, depending on the response, it could end up. I would figure it could end up being one because if everybody goes gaga over it, which you know they're going to,
I'm already going now.
You're leaving money on the table if you don't do something.
That's
like
right.
that.
That's right.
So
they better seize the day because
yeah.
Otherwise, fans will start making stuff. Have you ever seen the He-Man set to 4 non-blondes?
No.
All right. Remember that song, Hey?
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, you should You should just look that up.
Nice.
I'll leave that right there. I'll leave that money on the table.
Leave that right there.
And you can collect the change.
All right, that wraps up our movie and TV news. Coming up, the comic rack.
Where does it get those wonderful toys?
Want to find out all you need to know about the Ninja Troll toys? Head over to NinjaTrollDigicast.com. There you can listen to our latest show as well as find all of our previous episodes. You can also find our minicast, small bite-sized versions of our showcase and Exploring the Multiverse segments, and find out more about Mike and Tim. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to make sure you never miss an episode of the Ninja Troll. That's all at NinjaTrollDigicast.com.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Hello, this is George Perez, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And I'm assuming you already know that.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we've got to talk about where I was this past Saturday, the Shelby Comic-Con. It was a first-time event, and they did an incredible job. It was awesome. The place was packed the whole time, well, except for the cosplay contest. When that was going on, it was kind of dead.
Out. Yeah.
And then as soon as it was over, it's boom, here they come back. It's like,
That's
okay,
a good break.
that's over with now. Let's go buy stuff.
Yeah.
So, but they did an incredible job putting the con together, and a really, really good crowd. You're never quite sure in a smaller town like that with Shelby. You're never quite sure what the crowd's going to be like, but they were out, beating the streets, getting the word out, letting everybody know in town that it was going on, and it had a great crowd, a lot of fun. They had some of the some really good cosplay. There was a Jason from Friday the 13th.
I saw that picture you posted.
Man, that dude
looked awesome.
He was a good 6'3", 6'4". So he was a large dude. He was intimidating, and it was a full head mask that went all the way down into his shirt.
Dang.
So he looked like he had just crawled out of the
lake.
The lake, yeah.
Ooh.
And he was an intimidating dude. And he sold it the whole time because I told him, I gave him a card to the show and said, "There's a podcast that I do. We're definitely going to be talking about you."
Yeah.
And he still never said a word. He just gave me a thumbs up. So he was committed to the role.
Yeah.
But he was giving out hugs. So see, if somebody would have just hugged Jason,
he'd have been all right.
He'd have been okay. Nobody had been killed. Teenagers would have been fine.
I mean, the way to keep Jason away from you, is to never make out in the dark. I mean, just never make out. That's what makes him come crawling. He smells the pheromones or something. Yep. He's like, must die.
Yep.
So, just saying, that's how you protect yourself from Jason.
So yeah, his cosplay was awesome. There was a penguin and Harley Quinn. Cool. That I ended up actually knew them. Yeah, you said those but didn't recognize them.
Yeah, friends of kids of friends.
Kids of a friend that I used to go to church with, and he sent me a message on Facebook and said my kids were there and saw you but didn't realize it was you until they came back and
you were like likewise.
Yeah, exactly. And when he posted a picture, I was like, oh, I saw them. They were really, really good. And she had the big hammer that said "Your face here." Yeah, so it was easy to find her all day. The hammer was sticking out above people. Yeah.
But you said you had a killer day for Kapow Comic Art.
I did. Yeah, I had a really good day. I sold 5 pieces.
Damn, that's the best you've done.
Yeah, it's the best I've done at any cons. It's better than Heroes Con.
Wow.
A 3-day con.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Emma went. Did a cosplay of Vibe. She made her own goggles.
I saw those glasses with the glowing insides.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She got into the contest and she didn't place, but she got serious points from them because she made it herself.
Yeah.
And that was quite the hit there because they definitely give you extra points if you're making the stuff yourself. And
because you can buy your way to victory.
Yeah. And she has a good talent for that, of figuring out, okay, this will work. And she took those the Vibe goggles. She took these little it's like finger lights. It had we saw them at a grocery store.
Yeah.
They have the little fiber optic.
They have coin cell batteries or AAA.
She saw those and went, hey, I could put those on the side of glasses.
That would
so
work.
She cut the fiber optic stuff off of the end of it, attached them to inside of glasses so the green light is shining out through the goggles.
Yeah, because otherwise you're blind all day.
Yeah. She had to step carefully because it also has a thing on the front that has like a stylized kind of goggle look to it, but it also cut down your
vision
a good bit. She forgot the goggles, but she's doing a Captain Cold cosplay. She got the gun, but she forgot the goggles, so she couldn't do the Captain Cold. She's having a lot of fun with cosplay and really showing a lot of ingenuity with, hey, I can do this and I can do this and I can use this to act as this and all this stuff. And
I saw that she's grabbing like sponges to make face parts and stuff. You can go wash your car one day and you'll be like, Emma,
where's all my sponges? Yeah. So she's doing an incredible job and she's having a blast. So that's the main thing.
Wow. So Shelby Comic-Con. What's the next one?
The
annual?
Yeah, they talked about doing it again next year. They're the same group that did that is doing one in Marion in September, which I told her I already signed up for that one because they did such a good job Marion's a smaller town, but like I said, they did such a good job there in Shelby that.
Right, these Western Carolina towns. It's like, because it's a trek to get out to some of these bigger shows, and like you have them local.
You have them local. They're right there. Just let people know and
just tapping into that. Yep. That country market.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Country geeky market.
And the next one we have coming up is
Charlotte
August 7th. Sunday, August 7th is Charlotte Comic-Con, which is out at the Concord Convention Center. Convention Center. Right. Actually, somebody asked me where that was. I was like, okay.
By the Speedway.
You know where the Speedway is? It's literally like stone throw away.
Yeah.
So it's right there. So
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, and that's on Sunday, August 7th.
That's right.
Now let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Okay, first thing, and this actually just came out this morning. Stan Lee is not done creating characters, which
what's he got
surprises
now?
me. He's like 184 years old. But
how can you top Spider-Ham?
That's true, exactly. He is launching a new character called Nitron. Lee, along with documentary producer / director Kia, I assume it's Kia Morgan, and film producer Michael Benaroya, will script the project focusing on the highly advanced Neutronians, a secret species that lives covertly among humans on Earth.
Cool.
The 6-issue series will launch in January from Benaroya Publishing. So
not a Marvel title.
No, it's not. Yeah. No, he has actually. He's done stuff over like the last 10 years. None of it's been all his own stuff or with like this working with somebody else. Which
Great, why not?
At the age he's at, he really needs to work with somebody else. Somebody else needs to do the heavy lifting.
No doubt, yeah. Because he doesn't give it all the way to Marvel, or he's not in debt to them forever.
No.
It's Disney property now. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It actually sounds like an interesting concept to have an alien species that lives among us. So,
They Live.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Carpenter movie. Yeah.
He's got to eat bubble gum. I don't know. But they released a concept sketch for the infamous Iron Man armor that Victor Von Doom will don, and it looks pretty cool.
Oh, cool. I want to see this.
It is a silver matte style armor with green accents. The LEDs and the eyes are a brighter green. The mask is chrome it has a little Doom logo above the mask, and he's also sporting of course it's Dr. Doom, so he's sporting a black hooded cloak.
Yeah,
of course. But it looks, I think they released
see it. Yeah,
they released art of both with and without the cloak, and I think it looks better with.
Yeah.
It looks more Doom-like.
Sorry, have you ever seen this before? This is some comic panel I just found where Doom is the classic Iron Man.
Wow.
That's I'm not sure what this is from.
Yeah, I don't know where that's from.
It's from the Marvel Wikia. Hold on. But I did just saw the concept art. It looks pretty rad.
Yeah, it looks cool. And I'm interested what the story is behind it. Why because he obviously doesn't need it anymore. His face is now okay.
Oh, Doc Irons reality.
Doc
Earth.
Irons.
Earth.
It's an alternate.
200,781. In this reality, a suit almost identical to the Iron Man armor Model 1 was created by Victor Von Doom. The young inventor built this protective suit of armor in order to counteract the abilities of the Frightful Four.
Oh,
he became
so he's a
Doc
hero.
Iron.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently he's
Well, they don't try to keep the numbers low.
Nope.
In the Marvel multiverse.
No. Well, all the low ones are taken by DC.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this comes about, why he's using the armor, and what he's using it for.
And does he have his
a
powers
hero?
still with the?
Yes, good, because he's a very powerful
god, right?
sorcerer.
Now. Yeah.
Well,
right.
no, he's not God Doom anymore from the Secret Wars. Yeah. But he's a very powerful sorcerer. So he still does have powers.
I didn't know his powers are magic. I thought they were always like some radiation blasting.
I think recently they've kind of changed the stuff to where it's more rather than science. It's more, he's a mystical character as well.
Okay, well that makes sense because he's always had kind of over the top powers anyway. I'm just like, why is he so strong and the Four needs to?
Yeah, take 4 people to beat him.
Yeah,
but I'm interested to see that the infamous Iron Man series.
That's cool.
Yeah. And Dynamite Entertainment has announced a crossover between Army of Darkness and Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes.
With a 4-part miniseries written by Scott Lobdell, who has been doing Nightwing.
Oh,
he's famous for
awesome.
doing Nightwing.
This is Dynamite, so they can kind of go crazy.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Dynamite doesn't care. And it'll be drawn by Elliot Fernandez.
Oh, he's amazing. Jerkmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him at Heroes, man.
Oh,
he's
cool.
such a nice guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the solicitation is, your Xena and your 1,000-strong army has fallen to an implacable and ancient evil. What do? You suck it up and summon the only ally who stands any hope at all of helping you prevent the end of the world. Unfortunately, that lone man is the ass-kicking, time-traveling, womanizing, wise-ass boomsticker, Ashley J. Williams. That could be really, really awesome.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
And Marvel Comics will do a new run of hip-hop variant covers starting in September. The first ones announced are Black Panther 7, paying homage to King Mez's Long Live the King, Doctor Strange #1, based on designer's Panda, and Mosaic #1, referencing Earl Sweatshirt's Earl. I have not heard of any of those.
Earl Sweatshirt is the coolest nickname I think I've ever heard.
I guess they're going pretty deep for the hip hop references.
That's right, Timmy Turtleneck.
They well, their first run, I knew most of them, but they were all like 80s and 90s. I guess now they're getting to more current stuff.
Current stuff. Well, I like that they're doing that. It's fun.
Yeah, it was very popular. Their the first run they did of the variants,
and there were a few that people just didn't know.
Yeah,
like there was one that like somebody was like, dude, you know this? And I had to like look it up, and like finally like I did a visual search on Google, and it made the connection. It's like, oh, do you mean this?
Yeah.
And it showed me the real rap record, and it was some random like Dr. Something's underground music scene or something. I was like, what even is that?
Like I said, they're digging deep on some of these. And Hillary Clinton will appear in the 5th issue of Valiant Comics Faith, which will be an election special. The issue will be written by Louise Simonson, who created Apocalypse at Marvel and was one of the writers of the Death of Superman story, which included both President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton at his funeral.
Oh, well, that's right. They were in the White House. Yeah,
they were in the White House at the time. So, Faith #5 hit stands on November 2nd. It'll be interesting to see what kind of role is it. Just like she goes to Faith goes to a rally, or whether it's what exactly her part will be.
And we won't know if she'll be president by then because it's November 2nd. November 8th is election
It's already
day.
done. That's the thing.
Oh, right.
That
so
comic would have to be already done. So
I wonder then.
yeah, I wonder what exactly.
Probably just
that
a
is.
story up to now.
Yeah,
I imagine, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Of her.
And DC Comics will be releasing a comic book sequel to The Lost Boys.
Cool. Under
And
DC
on the Vertigo imprint.
Even better. Cool.
Yeah. It will be written by Scott Lobdell again.
Oh, who's also
and
doing
drawn by Scott Galewski. And will hit shelves on October 12th. So it'll be out in time for Halloween.
Sweet.
And coincidentally, day after my birthday. Just saying.
Ooh.
We find Michael and Sam still in Santa Carla.
What size shoe are you?
Trying to return to normal.
Bat slippers.
Bat slippers would be awesome. As long as it had flashlights built into the end, it would be a bat signal.
Yeah.
Every time you
it has
step.
buddy repellent spray. Comes out the back. You.
Okay. We find Michael and Sam still in Santa Carla trying to return to normal. But they must once again team up with the Frog Brothers as a new gang of ruthless, stunning, life-sucking night crawlers known as the Blood Bells arrive to collect their long-lost sister, Star.
Wow.
See, I'm hooked right there. I want
Amazing.
to. Yeah, I want to read it. It's awesome. It sounds really, really good.
That's cool. I wonder if they'll remember the kid. Who was the kid? Laddie.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I wonder if they'll weave.
I wonder if he's still there wearing his little faux military jacket.
Whatever that was. Yeah.
It's Attack of Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
God, I love that movie. But it's interesting. It's interesting that it's DC Comics Vertigo because they don't usually do stuff.
IDW would do that.
IDW
in a
would do
second.
That. Exactly.
Right. Picking up those rogue properties.
They would jump all over it, and it'll be interesting because there were sequels to the Lost Boys, like straight to DVD sequels.
I didn't see those.
Yeah, nobody did.
Really? Did it have any of the same actors in it?
The Frog Brothers. That was it.
What, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, or Corey Haim and whoever the other guy was?
I think both Coreys were in the first sequel. Then the next sequel, the next direct-to-DVD sequel.
Oh, the Tribe.
He had, I think the one Corey had passed away, and Feldman.
That's true.
I think they were both in.
Yeah, Feldman was in it.
Yeah, they were both in.
Angus Sutherland.
That's the other Frog Brother, I think.
Oh. Isn't Angus Sutherland related to Kiefer?
Oh, maybe he's.
Yeah. And half brother to 24-star Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, he's the third son of actor Donald and Sutherland and Francine Racette.
Okay, who was the other Frog Brother then?
I don't know. He was sort of a no-name guy. The Lost Boys, the Tribe. All right, I didn't know.
Oh, there's a Lost Boys wiki. Good.
There is.
That's crazy.
These came out 2008.
Yeah,
Cool.
and they were. I mean, I haven't seen those.
And then there's The Thirst.
Yeah, that was.
Which also had Corey Feldman in it. Jeez.
Yeah. He's been the only thing that's like I said, the first one had both of them in it. Then Corey Haim passed away, and he did the next one. And Corey Feldman, I think he was like the.
It was right around the time that they were doing it, right? Or because didn't Corey Haim
probably
didn't he like come see him or something? I remember hearing a story or seeing him talk about it. All right. Anyway, well, this is exciting.
We're taking a ride out through Lost Boys.
Is it Jameson Newlander?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, he starred in the 1980 horror film playing Alan Frog.
Yeah.
Jameson Newlander. So he's also in this other one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what else you got going? I mean, come on. It's
Nothing.
kind of like Corey Feldman.
Totally.
I wonder if they found that Batman number 14. It's a very serious book.
Very serious book. You can't put this Superman next to this one because they haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet.
Lori Lamaris. That's it.
I don't do horror comics.
I got to go home and watch that movie.
Michael! I love garlic.
Dude, I cannot wait for that movie now. I'm all cranked
You're
up.
all good.
And speaking of slaying vampires, Buffy the Vampire Slayer returns to Dark Horse Comics and ends up in San Francisco with the rest of the Scooby Gang for Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 11. coming on November 23rd. Now, right now, season 10 is still an ongoing series. So I don't know if that's going to end and this is going to pick up, or right, and when that's going to happen.
If math is real, then it will.
Yes.
It's just a theory now.
But sales can trump math.
That's true.
If they're still selling that, then they'll do them both at the same time.
The Leisure Suit Larry
right.
phenomenon we talked about earlier. Yep.
When season 11 opens or comes out, whatever you want to call it, it's weird because they speak of it. Yeah, they speak of it like it's a show, but it's a comic.
And the British wouldn't get it either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Seasons are different.
When season 11 opens, Buffy and Spike are trying to live out a normal relationship. Giles is stuck as a 13-year-old. I'm not exactly sure what happened in the first comic series that caused him to be returned to 13-year-old. And they'll introduce a new Slayer named Morgan. The series will be written by Christos Gage with art by Rebecca Isaacs, and show creator Joss Whedon will act as the series executive producer.
Cool.
I assume that's like an editor, but they want to call it executive producer.
Sure. Yep.
And Slayer Slayer is about to enter the world of comic books. Slayer, the metal band.
Rain and Blood.
That's right. Dark Horse Comics will release Slayer Repentless Volume 1 based on the band's revenge-themed music videos, specifically Repentless and You Against You. It will be written by John Schnepp with art by I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Guiu.
Could be Guiu.
Guiu, probably. Yeah. Guiu Villanova. I look at it and I want to say Gooey, and I'm pretty sure that's not it.
Could be Gui.
Could be Gui, yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Issue 1 of Slayer Repentless Volume 1 will go on sale in December, just in time for Christmas.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
But they actually talked about, Kerry King talked about, they always have written their songs almost like their movie. They tell a story in their songs and their album in general, and with a very visual bend to it.
Right.
So it could easily be translated.
I'm sure.
I'd be interested to see like a Rain in Blood comic.
What it would look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Seasons in the Abyss. So that would be
now we're talking some classic. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you know Kerry King played most of the guitar riffs on the Beastie Boys' License to Ill?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Him and
that's awesome.
What's his name? The producer, Rick Rubin. Were like buddies because I think he produced Slayer's records.
He produced their early stuff.
So he did it all.
Cool. That's awesome.
And now you know.
That's right. And 2 female heroes of the 70s will unite next year when Dynamite Entertainment will put out a crossover featuring the Bionic Woman and Wonder Woman 77.
Yes. They've been letting that 77 kind of float there.
Yeah.
It hasn't been much.
It's interesting. When I read the story, there's no mention of DC Comics. It's saying Dynamite Entertainment will release this. So I don't know if it's a DC property. So they'll have to be, if nothing else, just license them. I don't think they would just license the material.
Well, I mean, IDW did Green Lantern and Star
but
Trek.
It was double masthead.
Oh, I guess that's
it
true.
It had IDW and DC Comics right next to it.
Oh. Well,
so
Wonder Woman 77 is not really doing much.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's just the Wonder Woman property itself.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just. I would think it's going to be a dual thing, but it was just interesting that it wasn't mentioned in the story itself. But it would be
given.
Yeah, it'll be written by Andy Mangels, a writer and historian. So I'm interested if he's like a pop historian from the that focuses on the 70s.
Somehow he'll make it so that we can hear the Bionic.
It'll be interesting to see if they do that. And we were talking about last week the Marvel Now solicitations, the question of whether Venom is back to
symbiote.
The symbiote was on somebody else.
Yes,
it's been confirmed.
Who is
it? It is a new person.
Ooh.
That's all that's been confirmed.
Oh, but we don't know yet.
We don't know yet who.
Wow. Okay.
But it's obviously not the Flash Thompson symbiote. It looks more like the Eddie Brock, but they didn't say. They said Venom is back, or the symbiote is back on Earth, and I think which is always the thing they say, you won't believe who it is he's
Jimmy Olsen. No. Aunt May.
Aunt May. Oh God, that would be horrible.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
But it definitely is. It is a new host.
Wow.
So
Venom, a new host.
That's right. Yeah. So
Venom
and there's
Wars.
also a Superman #3 that just came out today. There was a pretty big deal.
Sad death.
Somebody gets killed. I'm not going to go into it because it just came out today, so I don't want to spoil anything. But there is a death in Superman #3 that came out today.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that next week. I'm
R.I.P.
Sure. Probably.
Yes.
R.I.P. Yes. So that wraps up the comic rack. Coming up, we're going to explore the multiverse.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Show your allegiance to the Ninja Troll by following us on social media. On Facebook at facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast. On Twitter at Ninja Troll Show. On Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast. And find us on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
What have you done with those plans?
Or you can always contact us at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com. You should tend to it quickly.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am.
Now, it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right. The Exploring the Multiverse segment on the Ninja Troll Digicast, where we started back at the beginning, the first instance of the DC multiverse in Flash 123, the Flash of Two Worlds. Started there, and we've made our way all the way up to Final Crisis. Now we're to, what was it 2008?
It's 2008.
2008 that came out, yeah. So this is the first part of Final Crisis. We got through the crazy long countdown to Final Crisis.
Oh, God.
That was probably about twice as long as it really needed to be. We got through that now. Now it's time to start up with Final Crisis.
And we had reading very religiously Countdown to Final Crisis. I was trying to, but I had to give up on that.
Can't do it.
Yeah, have a life, yeah. So I tapped out. But a couple things that we need to just sort of glean from that experience is that DC took a whole year to explain the sort of buildup of the fourth world, that there's this great war in heaven and hell, right, between Apocalypse and New Genesis. And that, the big fight between Orion and Darkseid at the end was incredible. It was like a big Jack Kirby sort of renaissance, bringing things back into the Crisis fold. And we read even like IGN did this thing that was the worst story DC ever wrote, and they said that it had nothing to do with Final Crisis. That isn't true. What we did find out was that all the stuff going on with the monitors matters, and that's really creeping into this new Final Crisis story. So as Timmy D said, Final Crisis, I'm holding in my hand the bound edition. It's pretty new. It came out, I think, just a few years ago.
Yeah, you've actually got a different one than I have, because you've got extra stuff. You've got stuff included from the DC Universe #0.
Exactly.
That's not in mine.
Which when your version probably came out was a spoiler, right? Because
probably, yeah.
That was signifying the return of a great hero, right? That we had lost in previous Crisis. But you can always tell, when things come out by the DC logo. It's like
true, yeah.
It's like every 5 or 6 years they redo it. So, but Grant Morrison's the writer, incredible writer, definitely the wackiest of all the comic writers I've ever read. And J.G. Jones, who's the primary penciler and artist on the piece, does some great covers, some great Crisis-style work. So we've got now some new players in the Crisis world playing with those tropes. So the solicitation for this thing when it first came out was witness the historic start of the final chapter in the Crisis trilogy, right? So Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, and then now this one. That could only spring from the mind of Grant Morrison. Haha. Final Crisis features stunning art by J.G. Jones. Worlds will live and heroes will die in the epic tale spanning the beginning of the end of the DC universe. The entire multiverse is threatened as the mysterious, and this is our villain, Libra, who's kind of cool looking. He looks like a G.I. Joe. He looks like Our Man became Cobra Commander.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, very much so.
And you can see his eyes, but he's got a covered face, so we have no idea who he is, and he's very like evil plan sounding.
It's almost like spidery, I think, because he's got those.
He's got intense eyes. I mean, we've seen some close-ups.
And he's got those things on the bottom part of his mask that almost makes it look like something arachnid kind of.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. So the beginning of this starts with DC Universe number 0, which, had the countdown just been so good and so well done that it would have just done it. But instead they had to create this comic so that way they could explain what countdown actually meant. And you sort of follow through. It was a great thing. It was 50 cents for the issue.
Yeah.
I think they had learned Countdown to Infinite Crisis was one comic that was 80 pages, but it was
huge.
75 cents, I think it was, or $1.
It's $1, I think. Yeah.
They should have just done that.
It was huge.
But they needed to do some cleaning up before they sort of brought in, and they introduced Libra. Libra was not a character yet that showed up in the Countdown story. So let's see here. So the Empire is threatened by the mysterious Libra, assembles an army of the DCU's most terrifying supervillains. But what is the ultimate plan? And who will live to find out? So, good times.
The narration and dialogue in this is so over the top
and classic. I thought it was
very
for a crossover story. We need that.
Yeah, it's very. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice. I mean, and speaking of, they even have the Swamp Legion of Doom headquarters.
Yeah, right. And it
How
comes
awesome is that?
Yeah, and then Black Manta is like, you can almost hear it in your head. So we'll start off with the issue number 0. And sort of talk about this really cool thing, which becomes the ultimate spoiler, right? Which is that Barry Allen has been missing, right? The Flash has been Wally West, and Jay Garrick's been around as well up until this time, 2008. So we're talking 1986 to 2008. We had no Barry Allen.
Yep.
The longest death, right? Or gone missing.
One of the longest sticking comic deaths ever, because it was 23 years. That he was there 22.
If math works, then yes, you are right.
Sometimes it does with me. Sometimes it doesn't. And Wally had been the Flash
that whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
And through big stories, through big things.
Yeah,
right. All that crazy.
The real
time.
Flash. Oh, who said that?
Ooh,
who said that?
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. So we get a bunch of stories, but the main story that's really important, is included in my version here of Final Crisis, is what's called the narrator's story. Mm-hmm. And the way that this works is that like they show a narrator who's disembodied, and throughout the entirety of the comic, it starts out black and then sort of makes these sort of ponderous comments. But as it gets towards the end, which is the narrator's section, we start to see a body form, and then this box is going from black to red. So it's black with yellow type, and then it's partly red. And more and more and more and more and more until we get to the end when it says, there is a sound like a crack of doom, which is our famous...
Crack-a-doom.
Crack-oom. Crack-a-doom. That's a new one. And then over a city, we see a moon, which is a white circle with a lightning strike across it, which is very indicative of the Flash.
Yes.
And then finally that box... starts to have the full red with now the lightning bolt, the logo of the Flash.
Lightning bolt on it. So
yeah. So the return of Barry Allen, right? Yep. Or we think we get something that is just some sort of Flash.
But that's the thing. He had supposedly returned before in the Flash comic, and it actually ended up being Reverse Flash. So
this could be another
exactly
leak towards that, or us thinking that. But the Reverse Flash is in the meeting with Libra.
Yeah.
So wouldn't necessarily be him. But it could be, we know there's multiple versions as well. But what's really cool about this is that we get a lot of sort of leading up stories. There's a story about Batman where the Joker is visited by Batman in Arkham, and we sort of get some information there. I'm just sort of briefly go over these. Wonder Woman, Apollo plots against Wonder Woman from the shadows, saying that our fate cannot be left with Wonder Woman to the Amazons. Right. Then Green Lantern, Hal Jordan investigates the scene of Black Hand's explosion, which I think comes out of the Batman section. And there's a Black Hand section. He is shown wandering a barren landscape while scenes from each of the new Lantern Corps are revealed. So there's like these cool, very Crisis-like slivers of all the Lantern Corps. and he says to nobody visible, "I hear you." And a Black Lantern power battery is shown at the moment. Then the Spectre, right? We have the Spectre. We couldn't have a Crisis story without him.
Of course not.
And right, it's the narrator hopes that the Spectre will recognize his powers beyond mere vengeance, and that we see the Spectre fighting with Anti-Monitor, like holding him from coming through the vibrational barrier. And then we get a little bit of Libra. So Libra meets the supervillains in Central City, saying he's here to balance the books. And but what he knows about is that there's a connection with the fourth world.
I'm gonna balance the books. See?
Yes, we're gonna get the fourth world in here. It's like Chicago. And he claims that there is a god. There is a new god in those in whose name the bad men can offer up their prayers, and he will answer. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna learn more about Darkseid as well. He's gonna be sort of a super big baddie. But Libra's cool. He's pretty mysterious right now. And he's about to do something that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So let's jump into issue 1. And this is called DOA, the God of War. So we start off now where we see essentially Anthro, right, who's the first boy.
Yep.
Right, standing on the hill, and something's coming.
Was one of
Jack Kirby's
creations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep.
Right? We saw that scene where, like, all parts of time. And he's visited by Metron, who just rolls up to him.
Is it just me, or does the Mobius chair must be horribly uncomfortable? Because everyone slouches in it. When Batman was in it, he was like a frat boy sitting on a beanbag chair.
Yeah.
Same thing. Metron is like... Yeah, like he could put a plate on his stomach. That's how far he's slumping down.
He's really chilled out. Yeah, it could be the power of it.
It just beats you down.
It just like, yeah, you're done. So in the dawn of humanity, right, Anthro is visited by Metron, who gives him quote unquote knowledge, and then departs. And knowledge is fire, essentially.
Oh.
And then later that night, after Anthro receives the knowledge, as Neanderthal raiders attack his tribe, they are forced back because he starts a brush fire. Mm-hmm. And what's a really cool factoid I found out is that on page 4, you see this peculiar-looking bearded man dragging a lady out of the bear cave tent with skulls on his belt, and we learn that is, in fact, Vandal Savage.
Yep.
Who says something indescribable.
And yeah. Well, he's a caveman. Then he was. So.
He's the smartest caveman.
That's right.
There is. So that's pretty cool. But now we jump after that scene to now the present, and we meet a guy named Dan Turpin. Do you know who Dan Turpin is?
Yeah, he was a police officer in Metropolis.
Okay.
He's shown up in actually, okay, I looked it up. Yeah, okay. What I know him from, he is from the Death of Superman. He was a cop there,
like investigating
in Metropolis. Superman worked with him, but he first appeared as in Detective Comics.
Oh, like back in the day?
Yeah, in 1942.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Well, he's real old then.
He first appeared as Brooklyn, due to him being in New York.
Oh.
But he first appeared as Dan Turpin in New Gods #5.
Ah,
so
he's got a connection to this. All right, well, that makes
sense. Okay. Due to a recent retcon, Dan Turpin was made the adult version of Jack Kirby's Golden Age kid gang character Brooklyn of the Boy Commandos.
Ah.
So he's supposed to be a grown-up
version
boy
of that.
Commando.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
So Dan Turpin is patrolling the Metropolis docks as part of an investigation into some missing kids. We're going to find out more about that. Mm-hmm. His investigation takes a turn when he finds Orion of the New Gods dying in a garbage skiff. He's just like there, and he's smoking. So he goes to touch him, and he burns his hands. And then Orion wakes up and says, "Heaven cracked and broken. You!" And he says, "Get your hands off of me."
Yeah, he's got a thick Brooklyn accent.
If you got to have the name, you got to have the accent. And then Orion says, "They did not die. He is in all of you." fight. And he passes out. And then in the background of that scene, you can see what looks like an armored kind of bad guy, serpent sort of dude. And we confirm that that's Black Racer.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's got the skis. Look at him.
He doesn't have the skis or the night helmet.
Yeah,
he does have the skis.
Yeah, he's got skis, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Racer.
I love that classic stuff, man. That's so cool. Upon his death, the skies of the world turn red, signaling the beginning of something. In Detroit now...
You always have to have red skies in a crisis.
Totally.
It's
the antimatter.
That was established in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Well, that's what it's got to be. It's the tropes.
That's right.
But now we shift to Detroit, where John Stewart is leaving his day job in response to a call from the Lantern Corps that a crime, a 1011, is in progress. And we learn a little bit later that a 1011 is deicide, which is the killing of a so-called god. So Dan Turpin now cannot face the death of a god, so he goes to meet the Question on the bridge to find out a little bit more about what's going on. And this is the new Question.
Yep.
So she tells him all about the Dark Side Club. In fact, gives him a pamphlet. It says, here it is. And asks him to be careful before departing. Some force is kidnapping metahuman children. So this is what he's investigating. This is what he's finding out. Now at the docks, where John Stewart has arrived to begin this investigation, Hal Jordan joins him. And let's see. They basically, Hal Jordan's late, and he knows that, in fact, it's deicide, that a god has been killed. So they split up to alert the Guardians of the Universe and the Justice League, and the Guardians respond, now this is cool, by sending a Special Operations Alpha Lantern unit to seal off the crime scene, which is Earth itself, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yep, nobody's going anywhere.
Nobody in or out except for Green Lanterns.
That's it. And the Justice League respond by putting themselves on Condition Amber.
That's right.
Which is, we know is missing children.
Pretty bad.
It is.
I guess.
It is indeed.
I don't know.
But we get this cool scene where we see the Guardians, the Owens, sort of standing around. So it says, 1011 requires a vast energy expenditure. Let's locate the weapon. We repeat, this is a matter of utmost concern, Lantern Jordan 281.4 or 2814.1. Special Operations Alpha Lantern Unit is on its way. Prepare to make contact. Was that good? Or
the whole thing, and actually, I don't know if the forward that you have in your at the front of your book is the same one that I have, but I don't even know. I read some of it. I don't know who it was that was writing it.
Babcock.
But he was talking about how he picked up. It wasn't Final Crisis, but it was one of the offshoots, and he was laughing about the dialogue. And he was in the car with his wife, and she's driving, and she's like, "What are you laughing about?" And he starts reading it, and she's like, "It does not say that." Because it's so over the top and like crazy, like Kirby kind of pseudo-sciencey dialogue and Golden Age kind of over the top proclamations and all this stuff.
It's full of that.
Yeah, it's absolutely full of that, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you're literate of Kirby, this is really great. Because there's everything you want in here, like as far as making the connections. Even look at this, the way Hal Jordan's flying. That's the classic scene, right? A classic cut of him, I think, flying against like the yellow missiles or whatever.
The first time, the runaway missile.
Yeah,
the first time he showed up.
Love it. All right, so we're now in a junkyard, and we're seeing the Rogues, Mirror Master, Killer Frost, a bunch of people, sort of Dr. Light. So a new super team called the League of Titans, which is Empress, Sparks, and Masi Manos, right, which we see a lot on Teen Titans, are tracking an artifact, which when they are attacked by Dr. Light and Mirror Master, and Dr. Light and Mirror Master pretty much roughed them up.
Yeah.
No other heroes are available to help because they are breaking up the supervillain protest march in Metropolis.
They're just walking down the street.
Good time. So the artifact is revealed to be actually Metron's Mobius chair, which is wanted by Libra for mysterious reasons. Come on, they're not mysterious.
It's not
it's
mysterious.
For ultimate power.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so the supervillain protest is like a distraction, apparently. Because you see like Hawk Girl like picking up Leonard Snart for some reason.
Yeah.
Trying to keep them in
Cuffing
orderly. Cuffing him. Yeah, like that's going to work.
Back of his neck.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Injustice League, their meeting of their High Council, is arguing against a takeover by Libra, the new mysterious leader of the secret society of supervillains. To prove his skill, he brings in, this is Libra, he brings in a captive Martian manhunter and sets him on fire.
Yep.
He like stabs him with this spear thing that makes him light on fire. So it's crazy, and everybody is freaked out.
Manhunter's weakness is fire.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, I didn't believe that he could be killed. I thought he was indestructible, like Superman.
But that was they made some comment about there was some kind of tranquilizer that he had been given, and they were like, make sure he doesn't come out of it. We don't want to have to deal with this guy.
We don't want a fair fight.
Yeah.
That's what Libra said.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty bold and intense scene. I think Libra scares the crap out of everybody, which is a really great scene. And now the JLA meet to discuss the fourth world threat, and then they issue that Amber Alert. So, good times.
It's Amber Alert.
Yeah. Now, Dan Turpin is brought to the Darkseid Club, where he is introduced to Boss Darkseid. And, it's not actually Darkseid, but he is powerful man. But, we'll see. And then Turpin accuses him of involvement with the missing kids, and Darkseid subdues him, so it takes him out. And then we find out, indeed, he has all the kids. Here they all are.
It actually is Darkseid.
It totally is Darkseid. And
if you notice, when Turpin first goes in to meet him, and he asks his bodyguards,
Calabac and
Kanto. So it's like that right there. That settles it right there.
Pretty much. Yeah. And he's got glasses on, so you can't see the red eyes.
Yep.
But all these metahuman kids have now been infected with the anti-life equation, which has made them into little minions.
Wackies.
Totally. No bedtime for them.
Nope.
Yep. Bye-bye. So, these kids are just really creepy looking. It's like Children of the Corn, except they don't all have blonde hair. It's really scary. So now, outside of existence, the multiversal monitors. And this is where I'm saying, if you read Countdown, like that knowledge is really good here. You understand that they're deliberating and there's problems and all this stuff and everything. So they're engaged in a trial, right, of Nix Wutan, who is the monitor of Earth 51, who is accused of causing all the cataclysm and helping Darkseid and everything in Countdown. So it's important to know that. I didn't need to read an entire year's worth of comics to know that, but I did. Okay. So it's the OJ trial. It went 52 weeks.
Yeah, it could have been a lot shorter than it was.
It really needed to be. So he stands accused of just negligence, harmful to the orrery of worlds, and is sentenced to, this was pretty funny, to a human existence on New Earth. So he's exiled to a human body, no powers, and he just has to be a dude.
Ugh.
Much to the sadness of his love, Ouija Dell. So she's sad. She's trying to figure out how to help him. While crying, she considers that the once faceless and nameless monitors have become very much like their transient life forms that they monitor. However, Solomon intends to use actually, I got this wrong here. Sorry. So the one who was put on trial, Nix Wutan, I believe he was the monitor who helped. He's Bob.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the one who helped the bad people, or the champions of forever.
Yeah.
Escape and get through everything. I don't think he was redeemed at the end. And then Solomon is the monitor who's sort of lurking, and he's the one who's up to no good. He intends to use Nix Wutan's punishment to further his own plans. So again, understanding that, which I read 52 weeks, I still don't understand it. Helps. Okay, so now back to Anthro. We see that during a sunset, Anthro is drawing a strange symbol on the ground with a burnt stick. And it looks very much like sort of Metron's markings.
Metron's symbol, yeah.
Exactly. And suddenly, as he does this, these things weren't here before, but he sees another place, another time, where he sees the ruins of New York, where Commandy shouts out that Metron gave him a weapon against the gods. And it says, "From Commandy, Metron gave you a weapon against the gods. We need it now." And then Anthro turns and goes, "Huh? What?" And what's pretty kind of weird and interesting is that he paints Metron's markings on his face in mud. So he makes himself to try and look like Metron, I guess. So now a young student with Nix Wutan's haircut wakes up from oversleeping and screams. And he says, "Oh man, 9:15. I am in so much deep." And he, and then this is somebody speaking. It's Green Arrow on the TV. And he was a valued friend and comrade.
Yeah.
F that. Whoever did this to John will suffer. You hear me? Will suffer. The superhero community reacts with the horrific murder of John Jones, the Martian Manhunter from Mars. More after the break.
This is all full on. The radical Ollie
Queen.
Yeah. He actually a little later in I think it was the second episode, he's they're calling together all the Justice League, and he's like, I'm not falling for your militaristic little club and stuff like that. I'll come help, but you're not fooling me. So he's full on
he's not
radical. He's out there. That's his character.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's like I've always wanted to see that side of Ollie.
They're getting back to that now in the new in the Rebirth. He's getting back to that,
to being the hard lefty
crackpot. Yeah,
cool. Voting for Bernie.
Yeah,
or maybe even further than that.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Yeah. All right, but this allows us now. So we see that this is the exiled version of Nix Wutan, and he hears on TV that the Manhunter's dead. So now we're in issue 2, which is called Ticket to Bloodhaven. And we got our same artist-writer team. And as soon as you open it up, I think Charles Bronson is in here, but that's not really Charles Bronson.
It's the Japanese Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
He does really look like Charles Bronson.
It looks like Death Wish, straight up, man. Or maybe Charles Bronson just looks Japanese.
Maybe.
Yeah. So at a metahuman nightclub in Tokyo, the super young team is enjoying a night out while Rising Sun, in capitals, gives a television interview denouncing them.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the Charles Bronson guy is Rising Sun, and he's get off my lawn kind of old man railing on these kids.
Well, he's got it, man. He's absolutely... But meanwhile, outside, some crazy... beast is attacking the city. So Sonny Sumo then enters a bar and orders ice water when a cyborg taps him on the shoulder named Mega Yakuza and says, "You need to fight." And he says, "I only fight for money." And he's like, "You're going to fight me." And then he scorches his back, which burns his skin, Sonny Sumo, but doesn't really hurt him. But then he turns around and he rips Mega Yakuza's heart out and then goes to the toilet to avoid the crowd that's come around. Yeah.
Well, you got to.
There he is met by first some members of that super young team who want actually his autograph. And he says, "Another time." But then Mr. Miracle walks in and heals him with the mother box. He shows him that this is the last mother box in existence, and informs him that the gods of Apocalypse are stalking the Earth for an unknown purpose.
And what was his name? The name he was going by?
Which one?
Something Shiloh. Mr. Miracle.
Oh,
Norman Shiloh or something like that. It wasn't Scott Free, which is usually
Shiloh Norman.
Shiloh Norman. Okay.
Yeah. On stage, they call me Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
Yes. And he goes, "That sound. I know that sound. And my skin." Yeah, so he's all healed up. And then this team witnesses that, so they now see. And he's like, "We have to form a team." And this guy has a lantern symbol on his back on this super young team.
I think that's the thing. He's just like a fanboy.
Oh, they all kick-ass type?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yep.
So now we're going to do a little more experience with Nix Wutan, who has his haircut, by the way, the Monitor's haircut.
Yeah.
But, it just looks kind of hipster, I guess. But he's reading the dictionary. He's learning words so he can participate in society. So he's going to work, living his life, but he remembers the events of the trial as a dream and tells his workmates in the Big Belly Burger all about it.
Yep.
And they all think that he's high. And then he says, the woman says, "Enough. I've only asked if you dream in color. Excuse my stoner friend," he says to the customer. "You need anything else?" "Not me. Sometimes I just feel like I belong somewhere else. That's all. Like one day I'm going to find the magic word that'll take me home."
So he's not quite. He kind of remembers, but kind of not.
But look at what he's drawing.
Yeah.
He's drawing the red Superman,
Yep.
a red Supergirl that appears to be some sort of monitor, and then that's Dr. Manhattan with hair.
Or they call it something else. It's the Omega Super. No, it's they give him a name later because it's.
Is it Dr. Manhattan?
It's in the next episode. No, it's not Dr. Manhattan. It's a version of Superman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, it looks like an O of some sort, so it might be an
the
Omega.
symbol is exactly the same as Dr. Manhattan.
Exactly.
So it's like a variation.
Circle with a dot.
Circle with a dot, yeah.
And he's blue, and he's got white eyes.
But he's got hair. That's the thing. Dr. Manhattan doesn't have hair.
But
yeah, it's later in the series, they all get, Ultraman, Uberman, Superman, our Superman, and that guy all get together.
And they fight as a squad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah. And so, they give his name, what they call him, I forget now what it was. It was some kind of variation of Superman.
Dr. Superman.
Yeah, something like that.
Dr. Metropolis.
Yep. That would be awesome.
That would be good. Hoping to find, so let's see, he's been reciting from the dictionary, hoping to find his monitor's word of command and regain his power. So that's what he thinks he can try and do, but he doesn't remember what it is. Okay. So it's, here we go. So he's also taken up drawing and already has sketches of Overman and Overgirl from Earth 10 and Captain Adam, Adam, from Earth 4, which I'm assuming is maybe that. Because the other one that he's drawing is sort of obscured a little bit. So I wonder if it's Captain Adam.
It might be, yeah.
Of Earth 4. Cool. So now we're in the Mad Hatter's lair, as you were mentioning before. He says somebody coming to Gotham, but Dan Turpin is there beating the crap out of him, like literally knocking his teeth out. I mean,
old school interrogation, like beating him with a phone book.
I mean, really, like
he's old school.
Every instance is he's bashing his face. I mean,
he's just beating the crap out of him.
He wants something. So he's asking Mad Hatter if he knows anything about the missing children. Turpin uneasily realizes that he is enjoying the violence, but only stops when he gets the Mad Hatter's drop-off contact in Bloodhaven. Now he goes there, remarking that all roads lead to hell. So the story now changes. So we have a sort of a quick shift now to the funeral of Martian Manhunter, and we can see all the heroes there. Everybody's in the space there.
Yeah, they did it on Mars too.
Yeah, that's right.
They interred him on Mars,
and that's why Jon Stewart's there holding the lantern so that everybody can breathe.
Yeah, that's good.
Not eat potatoes.
Nice.
And Superman gives a moving speech about He says, John Jones was a friend, always there, always strong, always reliable. He was someone I could confide in, someone who understood what it was like to lose a world and find another. We'll all miss him and pray for a resurrection, which is interesting. And then now we shift to the villains of the secret society are now scrambling to join up and have their opponents killed. And the human Flame remarks that he owes Libra for the killing of John Jones, and Libra leads him away to discuss precisely what the human Flame owes. So we don't actually hear kind of what that is. But Luthor says, that was pretty cool, but if you really can do something, you'll hurt Superman.
Yeah.
And then Libra says, so let me get this straight. If you're saying if I hurt Superman, you'll join me? Well, now. And that's where that kind of stops there for a second. Pretty interesting. Now, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are discussing the murders of Orion and Martian Manhunter, and they're actually scanning Orion's body. They have like his helmet there; it's pretty cool, and then like they're doing whatever they can technologically to find out what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with him. There's no marks on his body. There's nothing that they can sort of check out. But now we are dealing with the Alpha Lantern investigator Kraken. So Kraken dismisses the League's efforts, calling them like a superhero club, crime-fighting club, or whatever, saying, Lantern Jordan, when you're done with your friends, like, can you come do some real crime work here? And but here's the deal. Batman notices, and he says, like, hey, I don't know much about this technology, but, says he was shot. The internal trauma consisted with the blast pattern of a bullet detonating inside Orion's heart. What kind of bullet remains to be seen, since it left no other trace of its passage? And then Superman says, X-ray him again, Lantern Kraken, you'll see. And then she said, someone shot a god and left no wound? I think not. And then Batman says, I maintain he was shot. That's why I instructed one of your officers to re-examine the crime scene for a bullet. So, like basically this woman is really crabby, really just kind of ridiculous, just not really listening. And they have a disagreement. And she walks out and says, this is a job for trained professionals, and I believe your duty shift is over, Hal Jordan. We'll call you in the morning. So they're going to kind of take over the case. But now out in the space, Jon Stewart is sort of digging the space, and he goes, Opto, hey, whatever, I guess this is this other lantern. Whatever I thought I heard, there's nothing here now. Cordon secure. That's that damn sound again. Found anything yet? Maybe. The ring detected a trace of energy signature it couldn't identify. Whatever it is, it's been buried in the concrete foundation for 50 years or more, which makes it an unlikely candidate for the murder weapon.
I just love that he's made a backhoe, and it's digging.
Totally.
It's digging for the
a
bullet.
Digger, scooper. And then his ring says, caution, unidentified theotoxic trace material. And then the guy is about to take off, Opto, and he says, tell me when I get back. And he says, all right, what do we have here? It says, caution, unidentified trace material, Guardian Archives identification, Radian emergency. And then and the ring craps out. He says, why would you have stopped? And he finds this thing that looks like a bullet. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, that dude, whoever that dude was, hits him with like nails and like nails Jon Stewart to a wall. Lantern Jon Stewart. And it's like, my God, it's you. Say goodbye to your eyes. Like it's this crazy moment. So, so essentially we find this little piece of thing. It makes Jon Stewart's ring turn off. The other lantern attacks him. And then later that night, Hal Jordan is formally accused by the Corps. They rush into his house, accusing him of killing Orion as a relapse to his time as Parallax. So, kind of crazy. So so he's asleep. So like we don't know who actually. Yes, that's the thing. Is that like I'm not totally sure. Like it shows this guy, and it says Lantern Jon Stewart. I guess he's under control. Like I'm not sure what that is. Jon Stewart.
That's waking him up. They created the monkey with the symbols to wake him up. That was just like an alarm clock kind of thing.
Okay.
So they're it seems like the way they've drawn it, they're waking him up at the same time this is happening.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're basically waking him up to accuse him of something that's happening at that time. So obviously something's a little hinky here.
Well, I guess we're meant to believe that Hal Jordan is alibied by being in his house, but then because it doesn't say later or anything like that, but that you do see a lantern with a white glove catch Jon Stewart's hand after piercing his body with 9-inch nails, essentially. But they come and take his ring, and it says, your power ring and badge have been suspended for the duration of the inquiry. No lantern escapes the Alpha Lanterns. So, Superman now leaves the hall, to begin his day shift as Clark Kent, and Batman goes to talk to Kraken. This is back at the Justice League here, headquarters, the Hall of Justice. Kraken reiterates her theory that Jordan is to blame, but then she whispers that someone is eating her mind. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing that she just says it. She says, "Help me. She's eating my mind alive. Tell them our weapons don't work. Tell them no. Why are you looking at me like that? That imprint on your palm. Don't you dare touch me." This is Batman now grabbing her. And he yells, "Black alert, seal the Hall of Justice, and get me back up now." So we now come to find out that Batman reacts very aptly because Kraken...
Because he's Batman.
That's pretty much right. And Kraken just takes him out, incapacitates him, and reveals her true identity. She is, in fact, Granny Goodness.
Actually, I think she's being controlled by Granny.
Oh, is it? Or I thought she says...
she is actually... Kraken is actually an Alpha Lantern, but I think she's just being controlled by Granny.
Oh, all right. Well, it says
so. I mean, Granny's speaking through her.
All right, that makes sense, I guess too. Yeah, I thought maybe for sure like she was dressed up as her, because what they in some of the preview stuff about all this, Darkseid is like able to go inside of everybody and possess people. So I guess that could be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Possession.
Yeah. She is. She's a dedicated member of the second iteration of the Green Lantern Corps. She's originally from Apocalypse, so I'm sure that made it easier.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was around before them, and she's just being controlled by Granny. Yeah.
Well, she knocks the crap out of Batman, and she captures him. So yes. Now we shift to Bloodhaven here, and we're getting pretty close to the end. Turpin meets the Reverend Godfrey Good.
Mm-hmm. If you can't figure out who that is, then you've never read any of the
Fourth
World.
Yeah. Who refers to him as Sir. And Turpin is led through racks of horrific technology and slave pens, where he meets Commandy. Commandy and Batman are in these giant machines, and Granny and Agent Kraken from the GL Corps, or Agent K, Granny/Agent K. In the center of the complex, he is shown the lab called the Evil Factory, where the other new gods are preparing to grow a new body for Kalibak. Here, Turpin realizes the horrible truth. Darkseid is in his head.
And that's not cool.
No. And Batman screams to him, "Warn the Justice League. Warn everybody!" Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Sad emoji.
Sad emoji, yep. No LOL.
No, not even close. And this is a brutal scene. They put him in this really wicked-looking machine, which is crazy.
His head's all... It looks like those old-school dryers that the old women would have.
Yeah, on their heads. Yeah. The globe. Yeah. Now at the Daily Planet, Clark Kent has handed in Martian Manhunter's obituary, which he's written, and Lois asked Jimmy Olsen to courier some pictures down to the presses. However, as he leaves... Olsen is revealed to be as Clayface. So just as soon as he's getting into the elevator, he like transforms into the Clayman.
And Clark had just seen Jimmy somewhere else, and so he
commented
he kind of gets
get here.
Exactly. Yeah, he kind of gets a weird feeling as he's leaving. So he was able to get a little bit of warning. So
why don't you use the X-ray and just see it was Clayface? Duh. And at that moment, the top third of the Daily Planet building explodes. Leaving Superman alone in the wreckage, covering his wife and co-workers. Lois is seemingly under some rubble and might be really hurt and or dead. So now, this is a really great ending. This is where we're going to conclude today's multiverse segment. We see the Flashes, Wally West and Jay Garrick, are investigating, investigating the Secret Society's hideout, where there was a minor earthquake around the time John Jones died. Searching the building, they find Martian blood and a copy of the Crime Bible, which has to always be around.
Of course.
And Libra's Mobius chair.
It's like a desktop reference.
Totally.
You need to check stuff.
Is this evil enough?
Check the Bible.
So when they find these artifacts, Wally gives a theory. What if the bullet that killed Orion was fired backwards through time itself? Which makes good sense. As they discuss this, the chair opens a boom tube and lightning discharges around them. And this is a great moment. So Wally says, "My God, that noise." And then Jay says, "It's like the end of the world, Wally. Those vibrations. Wally, you don't recognize those vibrations?" And Jay says, "It can't be, not after all these years. Not after all this time. Oh my God." And then off screen, off panel, someone says, "Wally, Jay, everybody, run." And we see Barry Allen.
Yep.
Back from the Speed Force, the dead, from nothing. After 23 years. Yep. Good Lord.
Chasing the bullet,
right?
Yep.
That's supposedly going back through time. And then chasing him is the Black Racer.
Yep.
Who looks much more like a evil knight.
Cross-country skier.
Yeah, than he used to, like back in the day. And Timmy, this is where it ends on a very exciting note, the return of a great hero.
Yep.
But at the same time, we lost John Jones. I mean, that's like a huge death. And then Lois and a bunch of people are seemingly dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that explosion in the panel was not small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit crazy. So this is a 7-part series. We're going to do part 2 in 2 weeks, where we're going to read issue number 3, which is No Evil. And it's our same writing team. And it stars, in the beginning, the lovable villain hero Frankenstein.
Oh, yes.
We got to love that DC has him. So we'll read the next few issues and keep this story going. And so far, so good, Timmy. I'm giving this 5 Ninja stars. It's started off great. Already a really interesting – I mean, I've never ever seen Martian Manhunter get hurt, let alone killed.
Yeah. And he is – I mean, without exaggeration, he's most probably the most powerful member of the Justice League.
Arguably, yes.
Yeah.
For sure. This, like we said, we just got a few more issues to go of this, but it's been a really interesting read so far. Great art.
No, the art is, I mean, I'm a little farther, I'm rereading, and I'm a little farther ahead of you. In the 4th one, it gets really weird. It's like full-on Grant Morrison weird, and you're going, okay, perfect. Did I miss something? What the hell's going on here?
Seriously.
It takes a left turn for at least a little bit. And you have to, it's almost like you have to work a little harder to figure out what's going on. You have to go back a little bit and reread and go, oh, okay, now I got it. Now I know where I'm at. So
awesome. Well, then that means there's clues throughout. So I'm not going to take anything lightly. I'm going to really look at all the panels, because it seems like there's been a lot of clues in many panels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And with so much going on, with the story being at a really good action-packed pace.
And that's one thing that Grant Morrison is like a recurring thing for Grant Morrison. He will take the most obscure fact and thing and pull it out. And like Libra, I looked up Libra. It was Libra was like
spoil it. I don't know who Libra is.
No, it was before Final Crisis. It was a villain that had shown up in like 2 issues of the Justice League.
Like way back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I want to see what does he look like from back in the day?
Pretty much the same.
Okay. His costume's like pretty weird.
Yeah. But it had let me go back to that page. He'd appeared in first appeared in Justice League of America 111 in 74.
Yeah, I see it.
111 and 112, and that's it.
Oh, God.
He made a brief cameo in the JLA Avengers crossover, which is not even canon. And then he popped into Final Crisis. That's it. He was in 2 issues, and Grant Morrison went, yeah, that's cool.
There
pulled
he
him
is.
out of there and popped him in there.
I mean, he's been, plotting his revenge now for ages.
It's crazy.
It's incredible.
But yeah, he does that. That's kind of a Grant Morrison thing. He goes with the some of the most obscure stuff, like Animal Man.
Yeah, it's gave a crap about Animal Man.
Obscure throwaway character.
All right, why would you ever?
Yeah,
Animal Man, really? But he had one of the best stories I think I've ever read.
Yeah,
I mean, like his wife got killed and all this crazy stuff went down, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what he does. He goes with the obscure. So you can't. You're right to pay attention to everything, because there'll be some kind of little obscure thing. So
yeah, it's like Grant Morrison gives you the opportunity to fail as a reader, or step in poop. I mean, because if you don't keep up, you're done.
You're done. Exactly.
You're a slow kid.
Yeah. All right, well, that will wrap up our first section of Final Crisis. And before we get out of here, we want to give you our picks of the week. My pick is Star Trek Beyond. I'm going Friday to go watch that. I'm really excited. It's getting a lot of it's like over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of good word.
So Into Darkness was not your favorite.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm really looking forward to this. And
this is the search for Spock.
Yes, we're going to find the whales.
No,
that was Voyage Home. There'd be
Computer.
whales here.
I'll give you the formula for transparent aluminum.
Yeah, consequences of the timeline be damned. We're just going to get
whatever.
But yeah, I'm going. Actually, Emma and I are going Friday.
Cool.
To go watch it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really ready for it. So
very cool.
Yep. So what you got as a pick?
So I got as a pick a really, really cool series that I just started digging into, and I was like, oh, cool. It is called Stranger Things, and it is on Netflix. And just a quick sort of a thrilling Netflix original drama. Winona Ryder as Joyce Byers, who lives in a small Indiana town in 1983, inspired by a time when tales of science fiction captivated audiences. When Joyce's 12-year-old son, Will, goes missing, she launches a terrifying investigation into his disappearance with local authorities. As they search for answers, they unravel a series of extraordinary mysteries, including a secret government experiments, unnerving supernatural forces, and a very unusual little girl. So totally 80s, totally like all the tropes all like, you know, it's like a Monster Squad meets Stand By Me meets E.T. meets a little, like all the things that go bump in the night.
It's Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Cool.
Yep, and it's right on Netflix. It's a pretty good one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. That's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. For all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on the Twitter at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
Catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Mike say,
"Not what's the matter, what's the antimatter?"
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.